All right, what's up everybody? 1909 here. We're in Hamburg, Germany, home of tiny hamburgers, huge ships and legendary nightlife. The kind of nightlife that makes you want to call your boss and quit your job. This is the top 10, the creme de la creme, the places you have to hit, from underground clubs to swanky rooftop bars. Let's go! First up, we're hitting up the Reeperbahn. They call it the most sinful mile, and it lives up to the hype. A giant neon playground for adults, packed with bars, clubs and theatres, legendary venues like the Docks, Gruenspan and the Indra Club, where the Beatles got their start. Yeah, the Beatles. If it was cool enough for them, it's cool enough for us. This place got something for everyone. Techno, hip-hop, EDM or karaoke after a few beers. What happens on the Reeperbahn stays on the Reeperbahn. Now, I'm not saying you have to go all crazy and do stupid. You can easily spend a whole night just soaking up the atmosphere, people watching, and maybe grabbing a currywurst from a street vendor. But let's be real, you're not here to be a wallflower. You're here to experience the heart and soul of Hamburg's nightlife. So put on your dancing shoes, grab a drink or three, and let loose. Just remember to pace yourself, all right? This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And you don't want to be that person passed out on the sidewalk before midnight. Trust me, I've been there. Not my proudest moment. Maybe the Reeperbahn isn't your scene. Maybe you're into high culture and sophistication. Next, we're heading to the Elbphilharmonie, an architectural masterpiece. A symphony of steel and glass rising from the Elbe River. Even if you don't catch a concert, visit the plaza for panoramic city views. The kind of views that make you want to take a million pictures. Breathe in the fresh air and appreciate this incredible building. Now, if you do have a chance to catch a concert at the Elbphilharmonie, do it. I'm talking world-class orchestras, renowned soloists, the whole 9 yards. The acoustics in the main concert hall are supposed to be out of this world. But even if classical music isn't really your jam, they've got all sorts of performances happening throughout the year. Jazz, electronica, world music, you name it. And hey, even if you don't understand a single note, the atmosphere alone is worth the price of admission. Trust me, there's nothing quite like experiencing live music in a setting as stunning as the Elbphilharmonie. Just remember to dress up a little, all right? Leave the ripped jeans and band t-shirts at home for this one. We're going for classy, not casualty. All right, so you've had your dance with the devil on Reeperbahn. You've had your highbrow fix at the Elbphilharmonie. Now it's time for something a little different. Something with a little history, a little charm, a little less chaos. Welcome to Speicherstadt, my friends. This place is like stepping back in time, but like a good version of stepping back in time. Imagine a world before Amazon Prime where goods were actually shipped on ships and those ships needed somewhere to dock and unload. Boom! Speicherstadt. These warehouses, they're massive, they're imposing, and at night they're lit up like a freaking fairy tale. You've got these narrow canals running through reflections of the lights shimmering on the water. It's honestly kind of romantic. Perfect for a late night stroll hand in hand, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. Now you might be thinking, Casey, warehouses, really? That's your idea of a good time? But trust me, Speicherstadt is more than just bricks and mortar. It's the vibe, the history, the atmosphere. Plus they've got some really cool museums here too, and some great restaurants tucked away in these old warehouses. So yeah, don't sleep on Speicherstadt. It's a Hamburg must-see. All right, let's be real. When you hear St. Pauli, you probably think one of two things. Football or, well, let's just say adult entertainment. And yeah, St. Pauli's got both in spades. This is the neighbourhood that never sleeps, the place to be if you're looking for a wild night out. But St. Pauli is also so much more than just its red light district. It's a neighbourhood with a heart of gold, a place where artists, musicians and free spirits come together to create something truly unique. Walk down the Reeperbahn at night and you'll be bombarded by a sensory overload of neon lights, thumping music and people from all walks of life. It's a bit gritty, a bit chaotic, but that's all part of its charm. St. Pauli is a place where anything goes. Be yourself, no judgment. The music scene, forget about it. The Beatles cut their teeth here, playing night after night on the Reeperbahn. Incredible live music every night, from punk rock to techno. Check out Gross Freiheit 36, hosted the Ramones to David Bowie, or head to the Docks, a massive concert hall. Wander the streets, follow your ears, discover hidden gems, embrace the unexpected. Find your personal soundtrack. It's raw, real, unforgettable. Okay, after the madness of St. Pauli, you might be craving something a little more, shall we say, tranquil? Well, my friends, look no further than Landungsbrücken. This is where Hamburg comes to breathe. Imagine this. You're strolling along the Elbe River, the cool night air on your face, the city lights twinkling in the distance. You find a bench, maybe grab a currywurst from a nearby vendor and just soak it all in. That's Landungsbrücken. These floating docks, they're like a gateway to the city, a place where time seems to slow down. Ferries come and go, their lights reflecting on the water, creating this mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. It's beautiful, man. Landungsbrücken is also a place with a rich history. These docks have been a hub of activity for centuries, welcoming ships from all over the world. You can almost feel the ghosts of sailors and merchants past, their stories whispered on the wind. Today, it's a popular spot for locals and tourists alike. You can hop on a harbour cruise, grab a drink at a waterfront bar, or just wander around and soak up the atmosphere. And if you're lucky enough to be here on a clear night, make sure you stick around for the sunset. The way the sky turns these incredible shades of orange, pink and purple with the city skyline as a backdrop, it's pure magic. Landungsbrücken is a reminder that sometimes the best things in life are free. Just find a spot, relax and let the city lights wash over you. All right, so maybe you're thinking Miniatur Wunderland? Seriously, it's a train set, but trust me on this one, this place is insane. I mean, it's not just any train set, it's the biggest one in the world. They've got tiny little cities, mountains, airports, the whole 9 yards. And when the lights go down, bam, it's like stepping into a different world. You've got little street lights flickering, cars driving around, even tiny concerts happening. It's crazy detailed. You know that feeling when you're a kid and you just want to get lost in something? This is that feeling, but on steroids. And hey, if it's good enough for a grown man who spends his life running around cities, it's got to be good enough for you. One of the coolest things about Miniatur Wonderland is how they transition from day to night. They actually dim the lights slowly, just like the real sunset. The buildings start to glow, the streetlights come on, and suddenly you're in a completely different atmosphere. It's actually pretty magical, even if you're not normally into model trains. Plus, they've got this whole section dedicated to Hamburg itself. So even if you've only got one night in the city, you can still feel like you've seen it all, just, miniaturized. And hey, maybe you'll even get some inspiration for your next stop on this wild ride we call life. Because let's be real, life's too short to be boring, right? So you've partied all night, seen the lights, maybe even taken a spin on a miniature train. Now what? Well, my friend, it's time to embrace the chaos that is the Hamburg Fischmarkt. This place is a Hamburg institution, and it's the perfect way to end, or start, depending on how hard you're going, your night. We're talking fresh seafood, live music, and a whole lot of people who are just as crazy as you are for staying up all night. You can grab some fresh fish to cook up for breakfast, or let's be honest, a late-night snack. Haggle for some souvenirs, or just soak up the electric atmosphere. Just be prepared for a sensory overload. It's loud, it's crowded, and it smells like the ocean threw up. But trust me, it's an experience you won't forget. Now, I know what you're thinking. Casey, I'm not really a morning person. And you know what? I get it. But the Fischmarkt isn't just about the fish. Sure, they've got mountains of fresh seafood, but they've also got everything from fruits and vegetables to clothes and souvenirs. You could literally buy a whole new wardrobe here. Not that I recommend it, but hey, you do you. And then there's the music. Live bands playing everything from traditional German folk music to, well, whatever you can imagine. It's the perfect soundtrack to your post-nightlife, pre-breakfast shenanigans. So grab a beer, find a spot to stand because good luck finding a seat, and embrace the madness. This is Hamburg at its most authentic, and it's a beautiful thing. All right, so maybe the fish market is a little too much for you. Maybe you're looking for something a little more, shall we say, chill. Well, my friend, let me introduce you to Sternschanze. This is Hamburg's bohemian heart, a neighborhood where the streets are paved with good vibes, and the only rule is to be yourself. You'll find everything here, from street art and independent boutiques to cozy cafes and underground bars. It's the kind of place where you can spend hours just wandering around, discovering hidden gems and soaking up the creative energy. You might stumble upon a live music venue, catch an impromptu poetry slam, or just find the perfect vintage jacket. The point is, Sternschanze is all about embracing the unexpected. So ditch the itinerary, ditch the map, and just let yourself get lost in the magic of the moment. One of the coolest things about Sternschanze is its street art. Seriously, this neighborhood is like an open-air art gallery. Every corner you turn, there's a new mural, a thought-provoking stencil, or a piece of graffiti that makes you stop and think. It's a constant reminder that creativity is alive and well in Hamburg, and it's impossible not to feel inspired as you wander through the streets. And when you need a break from all the visual stimulation, duck into one of Sternschanze's many cafes or bars. You'll find everything from cozy, candlelit spots perfect for a quiet drink to lively pubs with live music and a buzzing atmosphere. So, whether you're a night owl or an early bird, a party animal or a culture vulture, Sternschanze has something for everyone. It's a neighborhood that celebrates individuality, creativity and good times. And trust me, that's a combination you can't beat. All right, so you've been bouncing around St. Pauli, maybe hit up the fish market, your head's buzzing, you need a breather. Trust me, I've been there. When the city's got you spinning like a top, there's only one cure, the Alster Lakes. These aren't your average ponds, all right? We're talking massive stretches of water right in the heart of Hamburg. Picture this, maybe that special someone or just your own thoughts, gliding across the water as the city lights reflect and dance. It's the kind of piece you wouldn't expect to find smack dab in the middle of a bustling city. But hey, that's Hamburg for you. Always keeping you on your toes, always one step ahead of the game. Now, I'm a New Yorker, born and bred, concrete jungles in my blood. But even I got to admit, there's something about being out on that water, the city lights twinkling like a messed up constellation that makes you just breathe. You know what I'm talking about? That feeling like you can finally hear your own thoughts again after a day of sensory overload. Yeah, that. And if you're lucky enough to catch the sunset over the Ulster, forget about it. It's like the sky's putting on its own light show just for you. Trust me, after a long night exploring Hamburg, the Alster Lakes are the perfect place to recharge and reflect on all the craziness you've experienced. Or, just to take a nap on a boat. No judgment here. Okay. So you've done the Reeperbahn, you've seen the Elbphilharmonie, you've even braved the fish market at 4 a.m. You think you've seen it all, right? Wrong. Because Hamburg's got one more trick up its sleeve. HafenCity. This is where old-school Hamburg collides headfirst with the future. We're talking sleek, modern architecture rising up from the banks of the Elbe River. Think glass, steel, and enough cutting-edge design to make your head spin. But it's not just about looks, all right? HafenCity is a whole vibe. It's where you go when you want to experience the new Hamburg, the city that's constantly pushing boundaries and reinventing itself. We're talking chic rooftop bars with panoramic views that'll make you feel like you own the city. We're talking Michelin-starred restaurants serving up culinary masterpieces that'll blow your mind. We're talking sophistication, baby. But don't let the fancy facade fool you. HafenCity still knows how to let loose. Hidden amongst the sleek buildings are underground clubs and vibrant music venues just waiting to be discovered. It's the perfect blend of high-end and edgy, and it's exactly where you want to be to end your night in Hamburg. Trust me, a nightcap in HafenCity is the definition of going out in style. So, there you have it. 10 of the most incredible places to experience the electric energy of Hamburg at night. From the wild streets of Reeperbahn to the serene beauty of the Alster Lakes, this city has something for everyone. And hey, if you think I missed a spot, drop it in the comments below. I'm always down to discover new corners of this incredible city. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next adventure. Until then, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep living life to the fullest. Peace.